want you to hear this really clearly. Circumstance doesn't get a vote. Circumstance is real. Circumstances may inform what's going on, but circumstance don't get a vote. Circumstance is not what defines what's real. It defines what's around us. It defines what we see, what we think, maybe even what we feel. But at the end of the day, circumstance don't get a vote. It is not the thing that we do or should allow to be the driving force in our life, because the things around us tell us lies. They absolutely point out everything awful and horrible that's going on. And let's face it, most of us have spent a lot of our lives being trained to know and see and feel the negative. There's an old concept that they used to teach in marketing. I don't know if they do anymore, but they used to teach in marketing that for every one positive review you get, you'll get 10 negative reviews. Now, there's some things that you can do to mitigate that in systems these days. But the truth of the matter is that people are very willing to gripe and complain about something when it goes wrong. They aren't necessarily out there telling you about all the things that went really right today. And that's sad, and I wish it wasn't that way, but it is also a reality that we need to understand, and then not allow that to be the thing that determines what is really true. You can look at your bank account today and you can be like, oh my gosh, I've got this bill due, I've got that thing, this check bounced, whatever kind of realities that are real, but those are circumstances. And if you say to yourself, that doesn't get a vote. If you say to yourself, I was in a conversation with a newly forming good friend of mine. I think he's going to be another person that's going to be a really good friend in my network. And we were just kind of chatting. He had interviewed me. And then afterwards, we must have chatted for another hour. It was really a fun talk. We were talking about some of the challenges that have come in that are things that the realities of AI and those kind of things have created in our world. Doesn't mean that we're failures, that our companies are failures. It just simply means that that's a circumstance. That is a very real situation that many people are dealing with. And that two things. Number one, taking that reality and making it the whole truth or even truth, it doesn't do you any good. It's a situation. It's a moment in time. It doesn't take away how amazingly cool we are. It doesn't take away all the things we've done in the world. None of your credentials, none of your experiences, none of the things that you've done so well disappear because of the fact that, a client said no, or you may be having a certain struggle, or AI has caused you to have to pivot in your business. Hey, Preet, glad to have you here with us. I am in central Kansas. I live smack dab in the middle of the U.S. in the middle of nowhere. How about you? Where are you from? So I think it's important for us to really look at the things that are around us. I put out the song last week, He Still Is. Feel free to listen to it. I absolutely love the song. And it talks about multiple different circumstances. That's very cool that you're in India. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. The song talks about multiple circumstances that were horrendous situations and the actions that the people took, because truth is greater than that, because reality is stronger than this current minute. I encourage you to think for a minute. Think about the time when all hope felt lost, when things were, I'm not talking about, those down negative moments. I'm talking about legitimately there was difficulty in your life. and you made it through. I have a good friend of mine that in some of their lowest moments has said, I've cried out to God and I've asked, why can't I just die? I unfortunately don't know Hindi. Sorry, Preet. Um, you know, and what I said to this person was, you didn't die because there's still a purpose for you. There are people who are no longer here on this earth today for a variety of reasons. You still are. And there still is a purpose for you. And the circumstance don't get a vote. It does not all get to weigh in on what's real, what's true. So maybe you are looking at something that is a circumstance that's very real. I don't want you to at all feel like that's diminished. I don't want you to feel demeaned, but I also don't want you to let it define you. Maybe today, instead of trying to make it disappear, trying to pretend it isn't real, trying to fake yourself out or positive affirmation yourself into something else, maybe just simply take away its vote. And yes, Preet, I am on live daily in the noon hour Central Time, U.S. Central Standard Time. Um, some days like today, I have a client that I'm helping, and so it starts a little later than right at 12 o'clock, but sometime in that 12 o'clock hour, which is what it is right now. It's 12:47 here in Central Standard Time, U.S. And I would love for you to like and follow me and catch me every time. And I really encourage you, Preet, as you're here live, and everybody that's listening on the replay. Let's take the circumstances vote away today. Let's not have to deny reality, but also realize that that reality does not get a vote at all. It simply allows you the ability to be able to look at what's real and what's true and make a difference. What I do for a job, I help people recognize who they are and share that with the world. We do that in a multiple number of ways, but of course, one of those is, putting it out in writing and in spoken form. And I love doing that for people. And if you're somebody who would really like to see and feel and know all of you, absolutely. I'm always glad to spend some time with you. Thanks for asking, Preet. I really appreciate you being here today. I hope each one of you, as you listen, that you're happy, you feel safe and warmly, deeply loved. And until we're together again next time, you have a great week.